Welcome to the Live4U channel. I am, of course, your favorite brother, your favorite cousin, your favorite uncle, Dr. Larry. Yes, I'm listening to Tupac. I listen to everything, so I get like philosophy and wise words from all over the place. Especially being a black man, we get our wise words everywhere because you don't know where a gem might lie right before you. I know some of you have asked as well. I actually have a major spiritual practice. I always have my crystal whenever I'm talking to you. We're at the table. I have that in the background is actually Himalayan salt. That's very good for clearing energy. Of course, my white candle, that's very good for clearing energy. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name, like I said before, is Dr. Larry. I am a life coach, but I'm also a spiritual life coach. So you see things like that because I'm not only able to help you from a life coaching perspective, but I also have resources and tools to help you from a spiritual perspective, things I use in my own life that brings me healing and energy and peace, and things that I'm more than happy to share with you and for anybody else who's willing to have it. Like I also said before, my specialization is in African American men from the ages of 18 to 40, but I'm open to helping anybody. But that is my focal group. I am very passionate about that. I represent that group, but I'm also passionate about helping that group. Anyway, like I said, welcome. Welcome to Live4U. Y'all look very good. How y'all doing today? Good, I would assume, because y'all do look good. Welcome to the table. Have a seat. Have a seat. It's time to consume some of this good stuff that I've worked so hard to prepare. It's just full of stuff here at the table that we're going to consume. So I hope you came here hungry because I'm ready to serve. And we're about to really, really get into some deep stuff on today's Live4U. Y'all know my way is never to ask for too much, but I will ask that you subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends so that they can subscribe. We're trying to get thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of subscribers. So subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification bell because that's going to let you know when I've posted the video. My commitment to you is to post 2 times a week. And I usually post on Mondays and I also post on Thursdays. So if you haven't seen the previous videos, you can go back and watch them. They're there as a resource for you, hopefully forever, as long as YouTube permits, right? So subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave comments and like the videos and check out everything else that we have for you. Because like I said, we're here to serve. I'm here to serve. This is what I love to do. I'm passionate about it. So let's grow together. You know, as I always say, let's grow together. Actually, today we are going to be discussing positive self-image, specifically positive self-image among African American men. When you ask the question, who are you? Who am I? What comes to mind when you think of those things? Who are you? That's a deep question. It's a lot more than what it seems on the surface. It's a very deep question. Who are you? Who I am. I am very aware of who I am. I am confident in who I am. I believe that I am a black man, a proud black man, a confident, intelligent, and powerful black man, and I am quite handsome if I do say so myself. I am a reflection of the ever-pervasive spirit that is in everything. Some call it God, but that permeates through everything in existence. I am a value. I am of value, and I am an asset not just to my community, but to the world around me. I am important. That's who I am. So if anything I just said then bothered you in some kind of way, or if any negative feelings about what I just said bothered you and came up about myself, my question to you is, why those things I said? What specifically of those things I said caused an emotional response of negativity within you? Why the negative reaction? You have to answer that question for yourself because the truth is, everything I just said not only applies to me, but it also applies to you, all of us. We are all valuable. We are all reflections of the highest order of that we might call God or spirit. We are all important. We are all handsome. We are all powerful. We are all confident. We should all be proud. Proud black men. That is not something that is just specific to me or to certain type of people. That is something we all should be. But for whatever reason, some of us have blockage, right? Some of us don't know that you are valuable. Some of us don't know that we are worthy. Some of us have a low positive image about ourselves, that no positive image about ourselves, even if not low positive image about ourselves. And we're not talking about just sheer confidence and arrogance. That is not what we're talking about. We're not talking about degrees and accomplishments. If you noticed, in my example, I list none of my accomplishments. My example, and I will say it again, I am a black man, a confident black man. I am a proud black man, an intelligent black man. I'm quite handsome, if I can say so myself. I am a reflection of the spirit that permeates everything into existence, and I am valued, and I am a valued asset to my community and to the world around me. Nothing about what I do, how long I went to school, what I've accomplished. I've said something that applies to all of us. So if there is a negative, even a small voice that says, wait a minute, I can't say that, then perhaps there's something deeper that needs to be addressed. Perhaps there's a barrier that is taking you from where you need to be to where you should be and where you should want to be. And like I said, we're not talking accomplishments. This has nothing to do with religion. This has nothing to do with anything like that. These are just sound, solid, factual things that can be said about each and every one of us, my brother. Period. Now, the question is, what is it in us that denies this is our reality? That's a question you should be silently or even out loud, since I can't hear you, asking to yourself. What is it in us that denies this as our reality? Think about it. Harbor on it. Fester in it. I can name some facts that created those barriers or that helped to create those barriers. I mean, we cannot dismiss slavery as a barrier creating entity. For a very long time, up to 400 years, you actually have a system that was intended to suppress you in a society that only valued you on a certain level. And so what happens is that mindset trickles from generation to generation, and it impacts all of us. I don't care how far we go from it. I always tell people mindsets are pervasive, and they continue despite mindsets go beyond space and time and still manage to affect us. So if there's a pervasive mindset that was allowed to exist for nearly 400 years of human history, specifically our history as black men, that is definitely going to work as a barrier for us. There are also things like social constructs that we've created. We've created, for example, a social construct of masculinity. Masculinity looks like this. Masculinity feels like this. Masculinity works like this. We've created all kinds of answers to that question and those questions. And for us, that is what that is supposed to mean. That social construct. We'll do a whole video on masculinity because it is a big social construct that affects us as black men, because we're living out these narratives that are in existence that don't really fully explain, express, or show who we're supposed to be. So we'll deal with that in a later video. But then you also have limitations. There are societal limitations that are already outside of us. Mass incarceration, drugs, and a whole bunch of other things. Discrimination, racism, bigotry. These are things outside of us. But then some of those limitations that are holding us back from being our fullness of ourselves and really living in our reality and accepting our reality are also self-imposed limitations. Things that we tell ourselves on a constant daily basis. Social practices that we have that keep us in a small space of existence when we're really bigger than what we're thinking we are. You can go beyond your thoughts. You can go beyond your thought, because here's the catch about thought. You control it. You control what you think. And once you get mastery of your mind, then you can begin to open it and stretch it a little further than where you've been for so many times. So our own self-imposed mental thoughts and realities that we create are really something that holds us back. And then, of course, lastly, as in my specialty, trauma, abuse, or any kind of trauma can have the impact on us of not allowing us to move forward or to see ourselves. So many people, myself included, experience things and we see ourselves through those things, and it prevents us from being our reality, prevents us from being the great, important, intelligent asset to society that we could be. I think it was James Baldwin who stated that the most dangerous creation in any society is the man who has nothing to lose. And so if you allow these barriers to create a nothing in you and to allow you to feel as though it's all lost and there's nothing that you have or are, then what do you live for? And we turn to things like crime and harming one another, killing each other, because as black men, sometimes we can't see each other's worth because it's like looking in a mirror, right? We all know that looking into other people is like looking into a reflection of ourselves. But if you don't have the value for yourself, then you're not going to value someone else, especially someone who looks like you. It's next to impossible. So we lose all regard for not just those who are on our level in society, but even our ancestors. We lose respect and the value for them, or the older ones, the wiser ones in our community. We lose the value for that space of that wisdom because we are reflecting from ourselves what we see. So you have nothing to lose. That is the worst thing you can be in society. And it's manifested, my brothers. You see it everywhere. Turn on the news. It's manifested. And yes, I know some of you are thinking, well, that's a narrative that's being created out there. But let's be real. It ain't just a narrative all the time. There are actual things that are occurring that happen in our communities all the time that we see on a constant basis that let us know that the narrative that's out there might exaggerate some things, but it ain't a lie. There's things out there that are true. Okay? There are things out there that are true. Tupac actually, speaking of Tupac actually had a really good quote. I first heard it from Tupac, but I don't know. It could have come from somebody else. He said that death is not the greatest loss in life. The greatest loss in life is what dies inside while still alive. Never surrender. And a lot of us have surrendered, right? We have given up our inheritance to the greatness. You know, when you say that I am a reflection of the effervescent spirit, some of us say, no, that's putting you too close to God. But why am I distancing myself from an all-powerful being like God or like spirit? Why am I making a hierarchy? There is no such hierarchy in nature, ladies and gentlemen, other than the natural order of things. The strong survive, right? The strength of the strong one survive. Darwin's theory in 1849 proved that the strongest of a species will be the one that's going to outlive. But it doesn't say that there are species that are intentionally trying to be the weakest. I don't think a rodent that is caught by a serpent or a bigger animal has just went up to that animal and say, eat me because I respect your authority. I respect that you're higher than me. I know that you're on the food chain higher. So therefore, go ahead and eat me because that's just the order of things. No species is putting themselves at a lower just because it happens. They allow it to happen naturally. They try their best to not allow it to happen, and many times the lower species outsmart the bigger, more powerful species and wind up winning in the circumstance. So the order of hierarchy, even in natural world, doesn't always function the way that it always seems that it would function based on this hierarchical principle that we have. So with that said, you should be able to be open-minded enough to to accept your truth fully without any reservations. The truth is, black men, we have allowed our story, our history, our past to determine who we are presently. We spent so much time dressing on ourselves with slavery. We spent so much time dressing on ourselves with discrimination and with our traumas that we start living and manifesting our experience of who we are from those things, instead of allowing those things to move away slowly as we become more fully present into who we are and who we have the potential to be right now. So that's what's happening. We've allowed too much of our story to be our present reality as opposed to creating it. See, that was one of the biggest things that slavery gave us that was very negative. It made us lose our dependence on our own ability to create our reality, and we became very, very, very connected and dependent on the reality and the truth and the realness that was created around us and for us and then given to us. But we're bigger than that. We have the creative power too. We just have to use it. So it looks like many things. It looks like drug usage. It looks like high homicide rates. It looks like arguing. It looks like fighting amongst family members, not respecting our elders, mistreatment of women. It looks like all of that. Anti-homophobia, religious zealousy. It looks like all of that stuff, because what it is, it's denoting a male species who haven't quite figured out his identity. We don't know who we are because we've tried to pull so much things from around us to try to define us when we haven't stopped and said, you are a reflection of the effervescent spirit that is God. You are intelligent. You are a proud black man. You are loving. You are useful. You are a very much a valued asset to your society and to the world. So what can be done? Because of course, we don't just put out problems here at Live4U. We not only just put out what the issue is, we want to put out solutions. Because now it's time not to keep talking about, woe is me, here is the problem. No, now it's time to move beyond that level of reality and move into the cure and become the product of a cured people. We are valuable. And it's, as black men, if we're not realizing that and we're not living from that truth, no matter what our sexual orientation is, no matter what our gender expression is, no matter what we're promoting in this world, if we are not or no matter who we sleep with, that doesn't matter. All that's irrelevant to the truth of who we are. But if we're not living from a place of people who value themselves and know themselves and their worth, we are no good to the civilization. But because we have so much to offer, something has to change. So there's time to find a cure, move beyond the cure, and live within that cured state. So there's several things that we can do. I actually personally, as a coach, have products. I have what's called the Freedom and Present Awareness program that I do. When you sign up for life coaching with me, that's the program that I use. It's a 6-part program where actually we go through each part. Like, for example, this particular video dealt with self-awareness and self-identity. Who am I? Who are you? It dealt with that positive self-mind. That is the very first actual part of the 6-part coaching model, where we deal with the person and help us to realize the positives about ourselves, realize the value in ourselves. I actually have a program, a worksheet called the Positive Me Chart, and it's in which you start to weed out those things you don't like about yourself, or re-envision those things that you don't like about yourself and try to see them in a more positive way, and heighten the things that you know you're good, that's good about you, and really add emphasis to those things. And it's really just a mindset work of trying to be able to re-see ourselves positive before anything, so that we're carrying that. so that it's not uncomfortable when somebody else says the things I said at the beginning. It's not weird. It's not hard to accept because we accept it about ourselves. So the first part of my 6-part program is to try the program, the Freedom and Present Awareness program, is to begin to help you to break down the barriers within your mind about your own self-image. So that's definitely something that you guys have available. And actually, what I'm going to do, just for you guys, is I'm going to put as a PDF on the website, www.live4ucoaching.com. That's www.live4ucoaching.com. I'm going to put ability to get a free copy of the PDF that is the Positive Me chart to start working through those things. It is free. The only thing you have to do is just send your email and I will send it to you, and that will put you on the list so that you can get more and more of this good information. You also will get awareness when videos are uploaded, and you also get other nice things for free. All that is required is that you go submit your email, and you're going to get the information sent to you as a PDF for free, and you can start filling that out. And we might even have like a special kind of video in which we go through that chart together. But either way, you will be able to start to recondition your mind. It's just foundation. There's more work that is needed, but it is just a start. So you can go out and get the Positive Me chart and start filling it out and looking at it and getting part of the community so that we can continue to build the positive image for ourselves and continue to do the work. Because brothers, we got to do the work. You are worthy. You are great. You are a valuable asset to the society you live in, but also to the world. You are a reflection, an emanation, an incarnate version of the spirit that pervades everything. The trees, the birds, the insects, the earth, the planets. You are part of that cosmological stuff, and it's in you. But until you realize that you are intelligent, until you realize that you are great, and that it has nothing to do with your religion, it has nothing to do with your achievements, it has nothing to do with your family, it has nothing to do with your looks, even though, like I said, I ain't bad looking, but it has nothing to do with none of that. It is all about simply you being you, brother. You are who you are, and who you are is great. But we got to get there. We got to get to where that doesn't become cliche. That doesn't become what we're just saying to try to project confidence. Because a lot of us project confidence, and then when you talk to a person who's projecting confidence for a while longer, you start to realize that that confidence is a mask to mask true insecurity. That's a whole nother thing in itself. But either way, you got to get the help you need to get to that place if you need it. And you got to start reorganizing and rebranding and reconsidering your mindset. So one way, like I said, to do it is to go out there and get that Positive Me chart out there by just adding your email address to our mailing list. Really simple. It's a very easy thing to do, and it will come right. I will email it right to you. You will get it in your email, kind of a freebie. It's a really good freebie, I promise you, because it's going to help you start the work to where you need to get. So that's it. We good. We did that, didn't we? This was a good table. I thought it was a good spread. It was a good positive message. It's a good open message. It's a little longer than my normal ones, but as we go forward, some of them get a little lengthy because we're talking some deep concepts. Some concepts that are not just what we can gather in our minds. They're metaphysical, they're spiritual, they're social, so they're heavy, some of them, but they're deep. And they're good for us. It's good food for us and for our minds and for our growth. And so that's it, though. So you can still follow me, Instagram, Dr. Larry Smith, also Facebook, Dr. Larry Smith, www.Live4U Caoching is out there. The resources you need are out there. I have some freebies that I am offering you, so take advantage of those because I'm here to serve. I'm a vessel. I'm not a tool, I'm a vessel. And so use what you need to get to where you need to go because it's time. It's time for us to move forward. And I affirm that you're going to do the right thing. I affirm that you're going to do what you need to do. I know that you have the intelligence and the common sense to be able to do what you need to do to get you to the next level. I love y'all, and of course, until next time, I will be seeing y'all.